Morning, it's Mike Montgomery here. March 1st, 2017 in the study. I'm looking in 1 Corinthians chapter 9 this morning, and Paul is using the analogy at the end of the chapter of running a race. And he talks about every man that runs a race. He said, we know that everybody runs. He said, but only one obtains the prize. And he said, but that's not so in the Christian world, because we all have an opportunity to win the prize. But he said, so run that you might obtain. He said, run in a way that you might win the prize. And then he says, every man that striveth for the mastery is temperate in all things. Now they that do it to obtain a corruptible crown, but we an incorruptible. And so there's self-control in everything that you might win the race. And we can see that in the natural world when Olympic runners and people that are in sports competition, the discipline with which they live by in order to allow them to compete on the level they're competing on. He said, I therefore so run, not as uncertainty, so fight I, not as one that beateth the air. He said, I don't do this without direction and without focus. And why? He said, I keep my body under subjection, that lest by any means, when I have preached to others, I become a castaway. And that is always the danger of you and I, as we challenge one another, or pastors or teachers or Sunday school teachers, as you stand up and preach the gospel, and now you find yourself 5-6 years removed. You yourself are a castaway, or backslidden, or one that has left the faith and walked away from the things that you held dear at one time. I don't know how many times I've met someone say, I used to be. I used to be a Sunday school teacher. I used to be, you fill in the blank. You know, and it's a tragedy to see how many people used to be involved in the work of the ministry. You know, but as we look over the landscape of all of Christianity, you know, we think, well, yeah, you know, people get into adultery and that gets them out of the ministry, or, you know, people get hung up on addictions that come back and get them, or maybe they have a lust problem, or maybe they have a temper problem. And, you know, all of those things are horrible and they're tragic, and, you know, they're kind of like the wow of the sins when somebody goes into that sin. But ultimately, I don't believe that's really the thing that keeps most people from finishing the race or running the race well. Generally, it's because we're distracted by the little things. It's generally, so to speak, the spiritual, lack of discipline of not eating the right diet on a daily basis. The spiritual lack of discipline without training with the right kind of people around them. And it's just those little things that distract us. You know, if you're more interested with the game on your cell phone than you are the Word of God, you might want to consider whether or not you're running the race with intentionality. You know, if you're more concerned with The Walking Dead than you are about telling somebody that Jesus rose from the dead, you might want to consider the fact that you might be distracted from the race you're running. And there are so many distractions out there in this world today, and we have to constantly guard ourselves, constantly looking at our life and paring away the things that keep us from being focused on the race. We do not fight as one that beats the air. We're not shadow boxing here. We're not just fake fighting. No, we fight a real enemy, and we people with intentionality to fight that enemy and to do the work of the ministry. Don't be a castaway, and please don't let it be the newest game on your iPhone that is causing you to be a casualty. Let's get in the Word of God today. Let's get into church tonight. Let's encourage one another. God bless you. We'll see you tomorrow morning in the study. Thank you.